Find the difference quotient of f. That is, find f of x plus h minus f of x over h for h not equal to 0 for the following function. Be sure to simplify. Our function is f of x equals 10 over x squared. So I'm going to write out what the difference quotient formula is. That's f of x plus h minus f of x over h. For our function, for the first part, I'll replace the x with x plus h, so it becomes 10 over x plus h squared minus 10 over x squared over h. We're going to simplify this using a clearing fractions method. So what I want to do is I want to simplify the complex fractions that I have. A complex fraction is when you have a smaller fraction inside this bigger fraction. So I want to eliminate those smaller fractions to simplify this expression. So to do that, I will multiply by a fraction, and that fraction is going to be created by using the common denominator between these smaller fractions. So I'm going to multiply the numerator by x squared times x plus h squared, and the same thing gets multiplied by the denominator so that I can keep this expression balanced. Then what I'm going to do is distribute to the numerator that common denominator to each term. Let me write out what that would look like. We would have 10 over x plus h squared times x plus h squared minus 10 over x squared times x plus h squared. There's no distributing to do in the denominator since there's only one term, h, in the denominator. So I'll just write out that multiplication in the denominator. So I've distributed that common denominator to each term, and now the clearing fraction should happen. It should cancel out the denominators of those little fractions. So in the first term, we have a denominator of x plus h squared, which is going to cancel with the x plus h squared here, and that leaves me with a 10x squared. In the second term, we have a denominator of x squared, which cancels with the x squared, and we're left with minus 10 times x plus h squared. And that's over that same denominator that we had earlier, h times x squared times x plus h squared. We will continue to simplify, and what I want to do now is to simplify this x plus h squared. So that's 10x squared minus 10 times x plus h times x plus h over h x squared x plus h. And I made a mistake here, left off a squared. Okay, so that leaves me with 10x squared minus 10 x squared plus xh plus xh plus h squared over hx squared times x plus h squared. And I can combine these like terms together, which would give me 10x squared minus 10 times x squared plus 2xh plus h squared over that denominator. And now I'm going to distribute this negative 10 to all the terms in the parenthesis. That's 10x squared minus 10x squared minus 20xh minus 10h squared over hx squared times x plus h squared. So now we're going to be able to cancel out these like terms of positive 10x squared and negative 10x squared. So those cancel, leaving me with negative 20, negative 20xh minus 10h squared over hx squared times x plus h squared. And then finally, because we have factors of h in the numerator and h in the denominator, we'll be able to cancel those out. And we're left with negative 20x minus 10h over x squared times x plus h squared. So the difference quotient for 10 over x squared is negative 20x minus 10h over x squared times x plus h squared. Thank you for checking out my videos. Have a great day.